Or that was the foxhole one.
That was the foxhole one.
All right, welcome to everyone out there. We're glad you're with us tonight. Today is, what is the day, man? We're in June already, aren't we? June the 6th, I think. I don't know. June the 6th. If you're out there listening on International Shortwave Station, WBCQ on 7490, we welcome you. This show is all about ham radio, and we'd just like to hear from you. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com. Tell us where in the world you are and how you're hearing the station, and we'll get you a QSL card from the station there. We didn't do a net tonight. I was a little worried. Our internet was down all day today, maybe 8-9 hours, and it came up just a few minutes before the show started tonight. So hopefully it's going to be steady and we're doing okay. So it's been really hectic, but I think we still pulled it together, and we're going to have a good show tonight. We got some great things we're going to talk about tonight. If you're new, we'd love to hear from you. If you're new to the show, if you're new in the chat room, tell us in the chat room if you're new tonight, first timer. We'd love to hear from you and say hello to you, and go out there and invite some friends. We're trying to get our rankings up, and to get our rankings up, you need to hit the subscribe button. Please, if everyone will hit the subscribe button, that will help us tremendously in our ratings, so please do that. And again, if you wanted to just know when we're on live, you can hit the little bell for notification, and that will tell you whenever we're live. And sometimes we come up live during the week, some type of special event or something. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got some really interesting video I think you'll like to see tonight. And let's jump around the room real quick and just see who all's in here with us tonight. The first person I see, it looks like it's Glenn Popeil. Hey Glenn, how you doing, man?
Hey man, doing good. Actually had a nice weekend. I did absolutely nothing, although I did get the lab workbench cleared off, so I think destruction is about to start happening over there. And
yeah.
So yeah, we finally getting stuff done, finally getting settled in the job. I mean, I'm not used to these 8 to 5 work days. I got to find something else to do.
Well, yeah, that would be tough. That would be tough, man. Having to go into the office every day, especially after you have been able to sleep late every morning for the last 15 years.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, all right. Well, let's jump on over. I heard Katie in there. Katie, how you doing? Katie and Dwayne. Katie and Dwayne are there. Hey, how you guys doing?
Great. How are you? Good to be here. Glad the show's on tonight, and
yeah.
We have been busy here with our new club and doing all kinds of stuff, getting ready for field day. Tomorrow we're going to go to our county commissioners for Amateur Radio Week proclamation and invite them to our event. So we got our new website, came in today, right?
Yes.
Yeah, WI7DT for Devil's Tower Amateur Radio Club. So
all right.
We've had some people find us because of the field day locator. So we have someone who wants to be a ham and somebody who is a ham. Even drove by, found us by our towers today, and stopped in and visited with Dwayne. So we're excited. There's been a lot of good hammy things happening around here in Cook County.
Well, I guess, is it pretty flat land around you?
No.
Oh, no, not even.
You're in the mountains, right? I was going to say, You could
We live
probably
at a
see your
mile.
tower.
We're
I was going to say
58.
they could probably see your big towers from many miles away.
Not many miles.
Not
but
many?
For a couple of miles anyway.
Okay.
We live upside of a mountain, 5,800 feet. The mountain is 6,700 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
And so to the north of me, 160 doesn't do so great into Europe, but everything else, we're just far enough away that we can skip right over it and get into Europe pretty good.
Yep.
Europe is north of us. But Katie's correct. Ham emailed me yesterday. We had a conversation. And then today I heard a knock on the door, and I went, and this Ham, Terry from over in Spearfish, he's W0VH. He said, I was riding around and I was looking for a big aluminum in the air. And he said, it wasn't hard once I found it to find where you live. So
Yeah.
I had him in. We viewed the shack and talked about field day, and he wants to put a remote station up. So we're going to work out something where we can get a good remote EME station up.
Well, that'd be great. That's
Yeah.
great.
So lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, and you'll have to report back on that, how it's going, and show us. What you
Yeah,
guys do.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Who we got? Let's see. Glenn. Glenn? No, we don't talk to Glenn. We don't want to talk to
There
Glenn
is
anymore. Alan, come on in here, Alan. No, don't bring Glenn in. Alan.
Bring
hey,
Glenn in
Alan.
here. So hey, good to see everybody. Back from vacation. Put in a full day's work trying to get through the couple of hundred emails I had in my inbox. But I was just thinking about that driving by trying to find your house by antennas in the air, and they'd have a hard time finding my house because I live in suburbia. I've got a 1/4 acre lot and a dipole that's kind of hidden by the house. So the only way you'd find me is if you saw the license plate on my truck or the antenna on my company car. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know I'd be here. So, but anyway, we're back from vacation. Had a really good time down on LBI. Did a little bit of hamming with the little QCX Plus CW transceiver and a little 703 and a little end-fed wire sitting on right on the water's edge of the bay. So actually did pretty good for 5 watts of power. But anyway, we're back and just trying to get through the mountain of work that's been waiting for me for the week that I was gone. And so I don't have anything specific prepared, but I thought later if anybody wanted to talk about portable operating and in particular antenna setups for portable operating. That's always something that's a bit of a challenge to get something that works efficiently. So I'll talk a little about what I've done and like to hear from others of what they're doing as well. So, but that's all I got tonight.
Okay, well that'll be good. And you know what? We can even carry that on later into our the gathering, the show after the
that'll
show.
be fun.
If people have a lot of questions and would like to join us. Let me just mention right now, again, we were basically off the air all day today. I couldn't get anything in or out on the internet. But if you would like to join us for the after the show, that is the gathering tonight. We're going to have all the hams that want to join us on Zoom to come in, and it'll happen about 9:15 Central Time. I've already sent a number of you guys the new Zoom link, and if you'd like to join the show tonight with Zoom, send an email right now. Send it to tom@w5kub.com, and we will reply in the next couple minutes to you with the new Zoom link that we will use for the after the show. So it's important that you send us an email so we can get you the proper link and join us. And hey, if we can get 20, 30, 40 people in Zoom after the show, that would be great. And it's just it's wide open. We'll talk about anything ham radio you want to, answer questions or anything. If you got you a new radio, you can hold it up and show everybody. We'd love to see your radios there. That reminds me, we need to do shack pictures again soon. So we need to get a bunch of shack pictures in here so Katie and Dwayne can make up things about your shack, especially if you don't tell us what the radios are. They're pretty good about making up names for radios. So get ready to send us your shack pictures. We'll want to do that probably in the next week or two. Now, let's see. Before we bring our guest in tonight, let me just talk just briefly about our balloons and where we've been. On our show, About 2 years ago, we decided to, send a balloon around the world, and we did that successfully a number of times. I think our best flight was 3.5 times around. But it started getting where that was too easy to do. And if you wanted to go out and buy an expensive SBS balloon, you were pretty guaranteed to go most of the way around the world. And if you're lucky, you're going to make it all the way. So it was getting a little boring to keep doing that. So we decided that we wanted to fly 55,000 or 65,000. And we've been doing a lot of testing. If you've been watching the show, we've been doing a lot of testing with some friends out in Oregon. And we found out that the material that they were able to get just will not stand the pressure. So we went to netting. We put nets around the material to hold the pressure in. And that was somewhat successful, although we wanted it better. And we on this side, on Amateur Radio Roundtable, have kind of stepped back a little bit. They're going to continue with the testing of getting this new material where we'll fly 55 to 65,000, and we're going to fly one soon, I guarantee you. But they're in the process right now of custom making a net because we were not able to really find any suitable nets that we could use. Most all nets that you get are in the diamond shape. They're not in the square shape, they're in a diamond shape. And that means they'll stretch this way and they'll stretch this way. And that causes all kinds of problems trying to design that structure around that balloon to hold it to a certain diameter. So they're working on a square mesh. And they've got a real secret process that I like where they're putting this mesh together. And I think it's going to be 6-inch square hole mesh this time instead of 4. But that's going to be fun. AC5CM said use chicken wire. We could use chicken wire. I have not thought about that. It may be a little heavy though, but that's a good idea, Chris. Chicken wire possibly, but it still might puncture the balloon too.
Yeah, I think the weight's going to be a heavy.
Yeah, I think I think that much. If we get 250 square feet of chicken wire, that'd probably weigh quite a bit. I think that's bad idea, Chris. Bad idea. Okay, so we're taking a step back from flying the Pico balloons around the world, and we are now going to shift to the near space balloons, the real high altitude near space balloons. I've got cameras on order. One of the cameras came in today. I've got power supplies on order. I've got a balloon came in today. We've got all kinds of stuff coming in, and we're learning about what to do. And the person we have on tonight as our guest is going to help us to learn what to do because he's done about 20 of these balloons and been very successful. And we're going to take this balloon up to near space. And we're going to have cameras in it. We're going to have a 360-degree camera in it that's aimed up, and it's going to also show you the horizon. We're going to have a horizon camera in it. We're going to have APRS tracking in it, and we will probably have there's a commercial satellite service that provides tracking, and I think we're going to probably add that module into our payload. Where it will tell us, like right down to the foot, basically, where this thing is. And if it lands on the ground and somebody picks it up and takes it home, we're going to know where it goes with this satellite tracking that we're going to be adding to it. It is a subscription service. We'll probably pay by the month or whatever. We got to figure all that out. But it's going to be fun, and we'll talk a little with our guest here about the recovery and what it takes to recover one, and that's the exciting part. And our past balloons have been up 3 months, but this whole project is going to go up and come down in I'm guessing about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours total. And so it's going to happen, and it's going to be over with before you know it. I'm thinking about trying to stream that. We'll try to stream the launch. We'll have some recovery teams hopefully already out near where we think it's going. and we'll even stream from our truck as we are heading for the balloon. And that should be interesting, hearing all the confusion in our truck about which way to go, because the balloon, as it comes down, the balloon is going to change probably different directions, and we're probably going to be driving around in circles. But it's probably, hopefully, it's be within 50 miles. We'll talk all about that. So I want to bring our guest in tonight, man. And our guest is Dave Bowman, KC9VVT. How you doing, Dave? Come on in here and talk to us.
Okay, how are you? Hello from 20 miles above northern Indiana.
You're way up there right now, it looks like, man.
Yeah, this way.
Nice picture, nice picture there. I hope we can accomplish something where we can see something like that. So, one of the things, I don't know if you know Bill Brown, but Bill Brown is also a member of our team here, and Bill has about 900 launches. He's been launching for the last 40 years, and in fact, I've got a video here of Bill on the news at Huntsville Space Center doing a launch, and you are to look what Bill looked like about 30 or 40 years ago. He looks just like he does now, but younger. You'll have to see it. We'll put that video on maybe next week. Bill will be back with us, I think, next week. He's up in Ohio at his dad's farm. But right now, we want to talk about your experiences. You've got some great experience. And very successful experiences, and you know your business, and you'll be a big help to us. And just talking to you the last day or two, I've learned a lot. So we'll kick this thing off in a minute with a video that you did for one of the schools. But I've got a few pictures here. Well, first of all, you want to just tell us, Dave, like how long you've been doing this, and give us a little background.
Yeah, I started doing this almost 9 years ago. My night job, I teach at a community college, and we wanted to do a STEM event, and I recommended doing a high altitude balloon project, and got some funds for that, and so we have a very informal team, just with the local ham operators, and then I'll work with students in the area as well if they want to do a launch, and we do 2 or 3 a year. So we've had 19 missions so far over the past has it been 9 years? Yeah, about 9 years, and we've lost only one of those. So
well, that's great
pretty
odds. Good. And let me see if I can do a split screen. Yeah, that'll work right there. One of the reasons I didn't want to send an expensive camera with this thing is we're beginners. We're beginners here. We haven't done our first one yet, and I didn't want to send a high-dollar GoPro and never see it again. I'm okay with the Pico balloons where you tie the $100 bill in a balloon and just let it go. I'm okay with those, but I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose a GoPro. So, but you haven't lost any equipment, have you?
Oh, right. Only except just the one that we lost. That happened to be the one that we did during the solar eclipse back in August of 2017. So out of all the ones that we wanted not to lose, that's the one we lost. But yeah, I mean, and it's pretty. There's lots of different things that happen in the balloon as you're going up, and when it bursts, and there's a lot of dynamics going on, and you really cannot predict necessarily where it's going to land, except maybe within 10 miles, because you don't know everything of how much of the balloon's going to be left when you come down in that. So we've had one flight where we know somebody found it before us and decided to walk off with some of our stuff. So that's why you need an advanced chase team.
Yeah.
And then, but we've had really good luck with using APRS, and I've done the satellite modem as well on a couple of ours, and that works very well.
Is that the Spot? They call it Spot X or something, or?
Oh, this one's a Rock 7. It uses the Iridium satellite, and there's a monthly fee, and then it's each message. There's a small message, and it only costs 15 cents or so. send a message.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay, that's a different service, but of course it's all new to us. But I think it's important for us to have that because it's going to zero that thing in for us and tell us right exactly where it is there. So let's see. I've got a few pictures here. Just real quick, we'll go through those. Then what we'll do, I'm going to start the video up in the background, and we'll continue to talk about this. But let's see. I got a few pictures here now. Is this a typical recovery right here?
Yeah, well, that's our special antenna work. So, like I said, you never really know where you're going to land. About a third of the missions we've had, we've landed in a tree, or in this case, we landed in someone's old TV aerial. And so I had to hire some people to come out with their crane and get it down.
Whoa! So were you responsible for getting it? I guess you wanted it back, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's the crane cost a bit to hire the guys to do it, but it still was cheaper than the cameras and the radios and everything we had inside of it. So,
well, that's something to think about. All right, let's see. Here's another picture. Let's see. This is what are we looking at? There's a balloon, I guess, looking up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was we did some practice flights out in Missouri. We were going to go there for the eclipse, and this is one of them. So this is just looking up at the balloon at about 8,000 feet, and then I have another picture that shows it at about 80,000 feet, and you can see how much the balloon itself has grown in size as it goes up. Mm-hmm. It goes quite a bit. Usually they'll start out at 6 to 7 feet in diameter. It's not really round when you start. It's kind of egg-shaped. And then when it pops, it's depending on the balloon size, it'll be 25, 30, 35 feet in diameter when it finally pops.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I think the balloon that I've ordered here, it says something about popping diameter of about 25 feet. I guess you can get all sizes here, but we hope to get that on up there where we can have some fun like you guys. Here's a video. Here's a quick video of the balloon popping. I guess you got to watch this real close, but does the balloon normally pop and go into a million pieces, or does it end up in big pieces and mess your parachute up?
Yeah, that's one of the uncontrolled things you have to kind of plan for. Sometime, I mean, it always shreds when it pops. I call it shredding.
Yeah.
But it will, sometimes you'll get most of the balloon back, and you have to be careful on the lines for it and that. So yeah, that's where it's about 80,000 feet there. But when it, so sometimes you'll have that extra weight that you have to take into account whenever you're coming down, because the balloon itself is like 2 pounds, and that's quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it shreds enough where there's hardly anything left, and then you wind up going twice as far away when it lands than what you predicted. Because a lot of the predictions presume that the balloon is still going to be basically intact, and have that extra 2 pounds of weight or whatever. So this is one that's actually Lake Michigan, about 35 or 40 miles away, and this is right at about 95,000. But you can so up there the atmosphere is about 1% of what it is on the surface, and it's, you would think that without hardly any air, it's not going to do very much. But as soon as it pops and starts coming down, the parachute fills up, even though there's hardly any air. But it comes down screaming real fast because there's just not that much air. But it shakes and rattles and rolls, and that's one of the things to make sure that when you as you build your flight system and all that, make sure all your connectors and everything are attached well, because it will shake and come apart when you least expect it, when you least want it to.
This is a great picture right here. Was this on one of your recent flights, or?
Oh, that was this was about 5 years ago.
Okay.
I get that. One of my favorite pictures is one that I had for my background because that's actually a picture from our very first flight.
Oh, and hey, you know what? People may not have noticed this, but there is a UFO off at the distance there. Looks like a flying saucer out there. So, did you guys know you got a picture of that? You know, I mean, the government might want this. All right. So, hey, here's another shot here. Hey, here's a couple people in space. It looks like. Who are these people? You're muted, I think.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's one of the teachers had a contest, and so whoever about their science project, and so these were two students. They decided to put on the balloon, in a way. This demonstrates. This is right after it popped, so you can see the parachute's already filled up, and then the gas bag, the balloon there is attached to that frame, so a lot of it stayed with it.
Now, what's the frame? What's the frame for?
Well, that was in the early days. We tried to make sure that the parachute would fill out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so the frame was to kind of open up the chute right away, and we figured out we really didn't need that so much, and it just added a little more weight than what we wanted. So. Okay.
All right, I'm going to put a video on behind here, and we'll just continue to talk as the video runs. And then we can take questions, and Glenn and Alan and Katie, you guys jump in at any time you want to. Let's see if I can find the right one here. There it is. So I'm going to put this on, and Dave, we can kind of talk about it as it goes. Now, I assume there your payload is laying sideways.
Yeah, normally. Well, one of the things to watch out for when you launch, since you normally go up pretty quick, between 700 to 1,000 feet per minute, and it will, jerk your lines quite a bit. So one of the things to help out is you want to put your flight train. We call it a flight train with all your payloads, kind of downwind from where the balloon's going to go as it goes up, and so we line it up that way. And then I like to launch it where I'm holding on to the balloon, and then I'll hang on to the parachute and then let it go up. Yeah. And then the kids get a big kick out of counting down from 5, and I let them do that, and then away we go.
So I was wondering if you could just put a little tether line on the balloon and kind of let it up slowly to get your payload kind of off the ground, and then just let it go. Of course, you probably wouldn't want that tether line wrapping around stuff up there. So. Right.
Yeah, we tried that actually in our earlier flights where we had a tether to the tied to the neck, through a loop.
Through a loop.
And it just wound up being more trouble than it was really worth. And then so I just started doing it this way, where I just held on to the single tether line that connects all the different payload modules together, and that worked out.
And just kind of work it as it goes up.
Right.
I think that's good advice there. Tell us about this payload I'm looking at here. It's in a little box. You got some figurines or something. What is that?
Yeah, those are little peeps, marshmallow peeps. The kids love to put marshmallows up there, and sometimes we'll be able to put a camera on it, and you can watch the marshmallows expand as the atmospheric pressure goes down, and then they eat them when they come back. And
is that right? I didn't. I didn't think of this. So they'll eat the marshmallows when they come back down to the ground. That's cool. Been to space almost. All right.
Yeah, we tend to the kids also. They really like to have a ping pong ball, so we usually have them draw on some ping pong balls, and then we put that all in a bag, and so when they get back, now they have a personal memento of something that's been up in near space.
Yeah.
So,
tell us about the cameras you're using here. What type of cameras did you have on this payload?
Yeah, I've used 3 or 4 different ones. One of them, the Canon still shot or sure shot, because you can program that thing to run take pictures at a certain time or adjust it at certain times and that's pretty easy to do. We've done GoPros and even some cheaper high def video cameras and even just putting in like an Android smartphone in it and just turn the silly thing on. We've done that and just let it run. One of the other not dangers, but things you want to watch out for is make sure that the button that turns on your cameras is away from anything else that's inside of your box, because when that thing jostles around, sometimes things will hit the button and it turns off your camera. So you want to make sure everything's pretty secure in there.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that there's quite a jar at different times there, and so I guess we'll plan accordingly. It's good to pick up all these little bits and pieces. So, when the thing jerks and takes off, you don't want the camera jumping out of the spot there where it's aimed through the hole, I guess. So you got to make sure everything's really secure there. What about temperature? We thought about throwing some hand warmers in the box because it's really cold up here. Tell us about temperature.
Yeah, we for our first flight or so, we threw in a couple of hand warmers, and normally it takes 2 hours to go up to altitude, and anywhere from 45 minutes or 40 minutes down to maybe an hour to come back down. So you're usually looking at about a 3-hour flight time. So that's not really that much time when you're exposed to the temperature extremes. The temperatures will go down, obviously, as you go up in altitude until you hit the stratosphere, which is, it varies, but maybe 50 to 60,000. And then the temperatures actually start to increase. So the lowest temperature is about 70 degrees below zero Fahrenheit. And then, but we've measured temperatures up at 100,000 feet where the temperature has increased back up to the freezing point. So again, you're not really in the really cold extremes for that long. And your electronics, they're generating heat as well, even the little cameras and the batteries and that. So nowadays, we tend not to even put any warmers in there at all. But we add quite a bit more electronics and transmitters too. So,
yeah.
But on our first one when we landed, it was the inside of the box was so hot because of the hand warmers. We had to let it sit for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. So hey, that's another tip, I guess. We won't put many hand warmers in. Maybe one. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe one.
Maybe one hand warmer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you notice, one of the things you want to try to control is how much does it sway and how much does it rotate. You can see here it really rotates quite a bit. There's not that much that you can do about the rotation. People have tried over the years different things on try to reduce rotation. And there's one group that I know with the planetarium in Chicago. They've worked it out. Where the best thing to keep the rotation down is to actually get up to your altitude and let go or release some of the helium and stop your vertical ascent. So it's because of the wind flowing by your modules that it starts to rotate. The swaying part,
I'm looking at the picture there. Is that the Ohio River or the Mississippi River?
No, that one's the Mississippi. Right there, we launched from Perryville, Missouri, because the totality shadow from the eclipse was going to go right over Perryville. And then later on, though, this balloon flew over into southern Illinois, and then we got pictures of the Ohio River over there. But and then for the swaying part, you kind of think of it as a pendulum. So you have your balloon, and then you've got your modules underneath it, and the frequency of the pendulum motion gets lower and lower the longer the pendulum is. So we tend to put all from the balloon down to the parachute we'll put 5-10 feet of line, and then from the parachute down to the radar reflector about another 10 feet, and then in between each module 10 or 15 feet. So you can get a pretty long chain.
Yeah,
for
talk to
training.
me. Talk to me about the radar reflector. I'm not sure that's required. Is that something that we could build? We could put on there. Talk a little about it.
Yeah, it's not really as long as your balloon module. So the way the FAA regulations are, they don't really care how big your balloon is. It's the modules that you have attached to it. And so each individual module cannot weigh more than 6 pounds, and a total altogether cannot be more than 12 pounds. So that's quite a bit of weight, really. And then, so once you do that or build that up, then as long as you don't exceed that, you're really exempt from the regulations. So technically, you don't really even have to file anything with the FAA or anything like that. Although it's, I've always tried to work real closely with the local people and the FAA, like with the Chicago Center and that, and you can tell they appreciate it, even though we don't really are required to. So the radar reflector is one of the requirements that if you were above that weight limit, that you have to have.
Okay, I got you.
And the ones whenever I use one, I just go online and get one of those little marine radar reflectors. They're about this big. It's for about 200 megahertz radar signals, and they're really cheap, or you can make your own. But I've talked with air traffic controllers, and they said they have never seen a radar reflection.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a minute about tracking. Did y'all just use APRS, or did you use additional tracking?
We've always done APRS. Some people you can get like a spot tracker. I think you mentioned that one.
We're looking at adding a spot.
Yep. Now, with spot, the one problem is it will not report above 60,000 feet, if I remember right.
Well, I was reading about it. I was a little concerned about that. I thought I read where it didn't report over maybe 10,000 or something like that. But I'm thinking that even below that, if it gave us good spots below 10,000, it would almost ensure that we could recover the balloon.
Yeah, we've used that as like a secondary one. Yeah. But we've had it. It depends. Get up to maybe not quite 60,000, but certainly above 10,000. We've got a report from it and that. But I really like the Iridium satellite modem. It weighs about maybe a little bit more than the Spot, but it talks. You can send your own messages as often as you want, however you want to pay, and it does better than APRS. Normally, where we're at least, we don't get an APRS ping until we're above 2,000, and then when you're coming down, you don't see it when you're below 2,000. But the Iridium satellite, we were on the ground and we knew exactly where it was. But
right. Well, we're thinking about adding the satellite because it will help us find this. So, in your chasing, I know you have some advanced chase teams, and have you ever got under one and actually saw it coming down? Do you ever get that close?
Yeah, we had one balloon that wound up being hit by one of those giant wind turbines when it landed. And it was on that flight where the advanced chase team was right where it was going to pop, and they could see it pop at 100,000 feet, which was pretty exciting. And then, then they followed it on the way down. And it's important when you're chased, you got to really divvy up the responsibilities. One guy, one person needs to track the balloon where it's going, and then someone focus on driving because, you're, like you said, you're really going all over the place trying to find the thing and get to where it's at. And there's been times where we've been able to get to the spot where it's going to land before it lands, and that's that's pretty fun too.
Oh, that's
So,
great. Yeah, I've already thought about that, and I'm lining up some help there. We're going to need multiple people in the car because, in addition to tracking it and driving, we're going to try to stream live and have a chat room going. So it's going to take multiple people to keep all that stuff going, Yeah.
Yep. And let's see, we normally, what we do is stuff for the kids and that. So the more cameras I can have, and then they do their own experiments. I have done ATV with it, and about the 1200 megahertz range. And I think my transmitter has, or my camera, my television camera, about 600 TV lines. And I was able to get about 35 miles with that thing. Just from where we were out on the ground, from where we launched, and the balloon was 35 miles away, and I still had a good TV camera from the ATV signal.
So just talk a little bit more about that, because we're not planning at this flight, but it would be cool to transmit video back and receive it live on the ground. So you use an amateur TV
Right.
signal.
Yep.
And I guess on the ground, the amateur TV is on a certain TV channel. You don't even need a converter for it. Did you have a TV with you, or how do you tell us about?
Yeah, well, I had my antenna from the launch site, and then we had to we had to point the antenna at where we thought the balloon was, and that, so that was important to track it along the way in order to make sure we got good reception in that. But yeah, we just had a regular TV, and then I had another gizmo that I hooked up to my laptop that would take the receiver end of it, and I could stream that live. So we did that with Facebook or YouTube, and then we had one flight where the local local news channel live streamed it too for a little while.
So you were able with the amateur TV, and I guess that was on like 440 band, I guess.
No, that's what I used was 1200.
Oh, okay, it's 1200. Okay. So I've got some little transmitters that are the 1200 and also the what is it, 5.8 gig? I think both. So something like that, and you were able to actually see it 30 miles away?
Yep.
And how was the picture quality? Was it fairly good at times?
Oh, yeah, about and you could tell when we were not really pointing very well with our receiving antenna, right? But we did pretty good tracking it. But when you got to about 30 miles away, you could see some static coming in it, and then after about 35, you can kind of make out what it was. But and then after that point, you're not really. But it's an old NTSC kind of signal, of course, and the kind of resolution with the imagery, and it works when it's working well. It works well.
So maybe on our next flight we try a true video camera transmitter, and as you said, you pick it up and then we'll pipe it into a laptop. We can stream it.
Yep.
And that might be something interesting too. That's just going to take more people. You can't do this with just a handful of people.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the other things too. Since our team is kind of informal, it's hard for me to kind of divvy up the responsibilities in that. But if you're going to do the TV, it takes time to set up the live stream with the internet and set up hook it up with your television or with your laptop and all that. And it would be really good if you had a person just dedicated for that.
Yeah, I see right here. It looks like the balloon just burst. You were about 90-something thousand feet.
Yep, this was at about 98,000 feet, and you could see where, and this is where I slowed down the videos just to show the kids what's underneath the balloon here. These are lakes in southern Illinois.
Now, did you get that? Did you get that altitude from the APRS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then I've done too with I put some Arduino on there with an SD card, And so when you're doing the Iridium modem, for instance, I created a message that I would send to the Iridium satellite that just reported position. And so I needed my own GPS with the Arduino, and then I could record every 15 seconds on the positions on that, at least on the little SD card. And then, but then I would only report with APRS. I tend to only do about 90 seconds for that, just not, not hammer.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Hammer the net.
And your APRS, probably whatever it reported, if it only reports every couple minutes, you probably went a little bit higher than the altitude it reported.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I can, you can tell what your ascent rate is, which, again, one of the things is it will ascend maybe, again, somewhere between 750 and 1,000 feet per minute. By the time you get up to altitude, you've reduced your ascent rate by maybe 20%. So you're down to maybe 600 feet per minute, but that's still a good ways up there. So you can kind of interpolate. I got my last ping here at this time, and the video shows you exactly when it popped. So you can kind of interpolate how much higher you got. Yep.
Well, I'm really interested in our show moving into this project and trying this, and already I have ideas about the next one. I want to put the video camera on there, and I want to stream it live. So we got a lot of work to do here, and we're going to be pulling from you and hitting you up there for help and information on this. Let's see if Glenn, Alan, Katie, are you guys? What do you think about this? This is kind of fun, isn't it?
Well, it was interesting. I didn't expect that the temperature would increase once you get above some certain altitude there, and was that just because there's so little atmosphere to draw the heat away from the electronics? Is that?
No, it's actually that's there's still enough atmosphere where you can measure it. It's the stratosphere is where ozone is generated, and so the generation of ozone actually creates heat.
Okay.
And so as you go up, it actually goes up in temperature some. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of the charts the government publishes about altitude and temperature, and you can clearly see how if you get way on up there, 80, 90,000 way up there, it starts warming up. But we could never get that high, so we were always stuck in the cold, in the 45s. Right. We were stuck. It was a long ways to go before we could warm up, and we could never make that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when we're kind of going from opposite directions. You all started from lower altitude, but you crossed transcontinental and around the globe and all that. To me, that's harder than doing this. So when I grow up, I want to do what you're doing.
Well, we'll share and we'll both help each other out here. This looks like fun, and you guys have already worked it out, and you know how things are supposed to act. And if we replicate it, we should have some success, I would think.
Mm-hmm. I have a question, and it kind of goes back to probably when you started all this, Dave, and I noticed like in the video, it looks like you have almost the entire school out there, but is this did it start with a STEM program in one particular school in your district, and how did you actually get that rolling for those of us that might be interested?
Yeah, well, with my college that I teach at, we have an annual STEM event, and so they'll invite the elementary and the high school people over, and we had maybe 20 different schools for that. So for that very first one, we had about 300-400 students watching it go up. Wow. But then after that, though, then it was, I would have teachers and then their individual classes come to me and ask me to help them, do a balloon, and I just asked them to pay for the helium and pay for the gas bag, the balloon, and then I provided all the electronics and everything else, and they built experiments like, marshmallow peeps, and they had the cafeteria make a giant chocolate chip cookies, and they sent that up, and then they eat it when it comes down. And, Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
You know, we're about to, let me put the video back on. I think we're about to hit the ground here. Now, you guys found this one, but I think you couldn't get to it. It was in a tree.
Yeah, this was, so one of the things I learned the hard way is, like I said, about a third of the time you're going to land in a tree, and maybe down where you're at, it might even be worse more often than that. So I bought an arborist giant slingshot where you can shoot up a line up into the tree about 75 or 100 feet, just enough to be able to grab onto the balloon and try to yank it down and all that out of the limbs. And it still takes a while, but we did not have that on this flight. What we did have was, it had traveled about 150 miles into southern Illinois. And what we did have apparently was some Amish farm boys who happened to be going by a little later and saw it in the tree. So they climbed the tree and got it down.
Oh my gosh.
And then
I think they're
That's
on.
awesome.
They're actually on the camera here. I think you can see them, and you can see their hats laying on the ground. I believe.
Yep. So their dad had to go down to the some local store and use telephone and give us a call, and he would not let me put their faces on the video, which that's understandable.
Yeah.
But
your payload got carried off by horse and buggy, I understand.
Yep. So there, in the video you can. So sometimes, like here, I used a Android smartphone and as one of the cameras, and it had stopped actually about maybe 10 minutes before it landed, but it must have warmed up somewhat because after they got it out of the tree, they turned it back on and it's taken this video. And here we are in the back seat of the buggy, about ready to go.
Yeah.
There was one group out of Chicago that they write software for Google Street Maps, where you can go and create your own, use a 360 GoPro, take your video, and then you use their software to create street maps. And so 3 years ago, they wanted to do one for the balloon. And so we've got a 360 video from one of our flights as well that they did, and then they created a street map view from 88,000 feet above Chicago. That was pretty fun too. One of the things too, like we mentioned, even though you're exempt from the FAA regs because you'll be lower on the weight than that, it's still really good to
file a NOTAM. NOTAM?
Yeah, talk with a local. It's still good to file a NOTAM. Talk with a local airport, and that it takes about an hour to fill up the balloon. Once you get started, maybe a little less than that, and it's easier to do that inside of a hangar. But you want to go to an airfield that does not have a control tower. Just talk to the people there. We were able to, the guys in Chicago, I talked to Chicago Center and the people at O'Hare and that, and just pointed out that by the regs we could launch, but I still wanted to work with them real closely. So we spent about 2 months designing some software that they could track, so that way they knew where the balloon was. And there's times in some of the videos you can hear a jetliner go by, and so you don't, you're talking about like a 2 or 3 or 4 pound bird in a way that's made out of metal. That's what your payload is to an airplane, and trying to hit that at 550 miles an hour, that's not going to be a good day. So
So you collect a lot of data. I can see the data here. We can see it climbing. We can see the burst. It looked like it came down quite quick.
Yep. So this is kind of typical. I mean, we started out at, I'm not sure what the scale is on the other side, but we started out at about 900 feet per minute or so, and it pretty well stayed steady until then. One line shows you going up to altitude, and then when it bursts, it comes down at, within a minute, you've already lost about 10,000 feet. 5,000, 10,000 feet. It really comes down quick. This is vertical ground speed there, so you can see where you got into the jet stream and when you got back out of it and that. And so you're going to hit the jet stream twice, and which is kind of interesting. And one of the other key things too that you probably have not experienced is with yours, when you get up to about 60,000 feet or so, then you get into a stratospheric winds, and the balloon actually will start going back. Usually the stratospheric winds are in the opposite direction.
Right.
And then what's down by the surface. And so it makes a nice little S. And
well, if you're lucky, it'll come right back over you and land where you took off, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, man, it's been exciting talking to you about this tonight. We learned a lot, and hopefully we can replicate some of this. Man, I don't know. Katie, I think we ought to run some kind of contest and put somebody's picture on it and send them to space. What do you think?
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've got me hungry for these big marshmallows.
Oh,
Well, we can do that too, man.
I heard that and was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking giant cookie, I'm in.
So, Dave, I've heard of the guys down in Colorado that do regular launches like this. They actually have line cutting technology where they cut the line before the balloon bursts.
Right.
What's the advantage of that?
Well, that one of them is if it's the group that I'm thinking of, their balloons actually are above the limit, so that's actually required, the weight limit.
Okay.
But if you're, as long as you're below 12 pounds and some other factors, then you don't really need that. But the other advantage of that, though, is you don't have that extra weight of the balloon as you're coming down. So, again, if you have a payload that's 2, 3, 4 pounds, and that balloon adds another 2 pounds where your parachute's having to carry 6 pounds or so, whereas if you can cut the balloon away, now it only has 4 pounds to carry, so it'll go a little further, and you get more pictures that way. So,
okay, I was just curious because they had one where the balloon they cut loose from the balloon and the parachute did not deploy.
Oh,
and most of the electronics actually survived.
Yeah, I like. Mine have done that too. I've had a couple of them where I did not have a good connector between my lines, and with all that jostling around when it burst, 1 or 2 of them fell off, and they survived. I tend to build my own little boxes out of a foam board, and with a couple layers of that, and that, when I got hit by that wind turbine, everything inside the box survived. Anything outside didn't.
It's not the fall that hurts it. It's a sudden stop at the end.
Right. Hey, one of the things, there's a video that I've been watching where a guy sent a balloon up to 90-something. He had an iPad on it, iPad and a camera. He did not have a parachute on it. He came down, hit the ground, and the iPad was still working when he picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to show you something. This has come from my buddies out in Oregon. You're talking about how do you cut something loose. I wasn't really familiar with this, but here's a little deal here they sent me. We got a balloon right here. We got a parachute. And then this little board here can be programmed. And I assume you could use something like an Arduino or something, program it for altitude or a timer. But you see this little red thing right here? I didn't know what this was. But this cuts loose the payload. There's a fishing line. You can't see it. There's a fishing line that goes through this. This is actually a blasting cap. It actually has an explosion, and it cuts the line here. I thought that was just amazing. And I'm thinking maybe we could put a little blasting cap like that right at the bottom of the hydrogen balloon and see what that would do.
Hey, what's not to like? You got space, you got balloons, and you get to blow stuff up. I mean, it's like a win-win.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's explosive, I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like to blow stuff up?
Yeah.
Dave, you mentioned foam board. Are you talking about just beaded styrofoam foam board?
Yeah. You go to Walmart or whatever, and you get or some hobby place, and it's either 5 millimeter stick or 3.5 or so. And I just kind of put a couple or 2 or 3 of those sheets together to make it nice and solid. I build a little door so I can put things in it. And
that stuff doesn't play like the marshmallows when it gets up there, starts expanding.
no, I mean what they have, it's they have cardboard, a thin sheet of cardboard, around it. And then I cover up I use RTV silicone to glue things together. That works really well in temperatures, cold temperatures and warm. And then I use zip ties. I mean, zip ties work great. And duct tape, it depends,
Yeah. Okay, so now you're going to call back my favorite line in any book ever, and that's from Andy Weir's The Martian. Of course, duct tape works in the near vacuum of space. Duct tape works everywhere. It has magical properties that should be worshipped.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, guys, we need to move on, but we can continue. We can continue this in a little while in our next segment that we have where we invite everybody in. We'll continue with this, and I think Alan has something here that maybe we can squeeze in here. Let me just make an announcement real quick. Let me make 2 announcements. If you're out there listening on International Shortwave, WBCQ 7490, we're talking about sending balloons to near space, and this program is about a ham radio, amateur radio. Send us an email if you're hearing the show tonight, and we'd love to hear from you. Send an email to tom@w5kub.com. We'd love to hear from you. Also, you can join the show live just by going to w5kub.com. No, that's wrong. Scratch. By going to youtube.com/w5kub. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, you can join our show there live, and you can watch. Okay. The other announcement was, we're moving into the show after the show in probably 10 or 15 minutes. That's the gathering, where we have the gathering of all the hams. If you'd like to have a Zoom link to join us, send me an email right now. Send it to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com, and we'll send you back a Zoom link instantly that will allow you to join us once we open that Zoom meeting up. So we'll be doing that in probably the next 15 minutes. So let me take just a quick break here. I'll be right back, and then we'll talk with Alan for a few minutes, and then we'll follow that with the gathering. So stand by. We'll be right back. The great outdoors are calling. Get outside and under the stars with one of ICOM's ultimate SDR transceivers. The IC705 is a perfect transceiver for hams who enjoy both the great indoors and the outdoors. It's a perfect QRP companion. The base station has features and functionality at the tip of your fingers and a portable package. And it covers HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. And guess what? It weighs in at just under 2 pounds. It has a 4.3-inch touchscreen, and it's got a live band scope and waterfall. It'll run 5 watts with a BP272 or 10 watts on 13.8 volts DC. It runs all modes, including D-Star. The speaker microphone comes standard. The perfect accessory for the 705 is the LC192 backpack. It has a special compartment for your IC705 and room for all your accessories. Create your own band opening with the IC9700. This transceiver radio brings direct sampling to the UHF VHF weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are just sure to keep you busy. It has a 4.3-inch color touchscreen and spectrum scope and waterfall. It has smooth satellite operation with 99 satellite channels, and it's full duplex operation in satellite mode. Heard it, worked it, and logged it with ICOM 7300. It's a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transistor digitizes the RF before various receiver stages to reduce the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 is the radio that changed the way of entry-level HF. Visit www.icomamerica/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, and we're back. And guess what? We've got a prize to give out. Katie, talk to us.
Yes, sir. All right, amateur radio roundtable friends. This is our last week for a giveaway from Allen Laser Creations, your own personalized call sign plaque that does light up. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So this is donated from Allen Laser Creations, which is owned by Joe Allen, KC0FWG, out of Fargo, North Dakota. Also happens to be
Our son.
a miniature version of him. So, but there is, if you check out the website at Allen Laser Creations, you can check out these and other items that they have. And there's also a discount code, WI7YL15 or something like that. I'll double check. But yeah, just so if you're watching right now, this is only live for U.S. Viewers. Sorry, everybody over the pond. Just type something into the chat room here with your call sign, your name, just ... whatever, just so we can see that you're active in here. And then our unofficial Hambot will pick a winner for tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get this off to Joe, and he'll whip this up for you and get it out. And Andy, KD5PUR, got his a couple weeks ago, and John, KC7DRI, out in Idaho, got his, and I forgot who else we had. Yeah, John says, hard to believe I won mine back in March. I can't believe it was March already, too. So, okay. All right, so we'll give it another minute, and
so
we'll
let's do
grab
this.
a name here.
Yeah, let's do this. Everybody, as Katie mentioned, you need to hit a period or enter, do something, type hi, type hello, because what that does, that puts you in the list, the participants list. So everybody, you need to say something in the chat room. If you don't say something in the chat room, your name is not going to get picked. So everybody just do something. There you go. Alan says ... There we go. Hi.
Yep. Hey, there's Freddie in there.
Anything
Hi,
and everything.
Freddie. Did you see Freddie in the chat room tonight, Tom?
You say Freddie? Yeah, I knew Freddie was going to be here.
Oh, good. Hi,
Yeah.
Freddie.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever, Freddie.
I know. Gosh, it's been too long.
Yeah. In fact, I think
There.
Freddie is going to join our recovery team when we launch
think so.
the balloon, and we need extra help to do all the things that we're going to be doing. Okay, so let's do this. Let me see if Hambot's awake, and Katie, you can announce it right after
All
this
right.
when you get ready. So here's Hambot.
Yeah, if I don't win it, I'm just going to have to buy me one.
All right. Well, Hambot has said, let's give away a prize. So, Katie, what did Hambot say?
Oh, sorry.
Where's Katie? Is Katie still working?
Okay, I found it. All right.
All right.
George, Kilo 8, Juliet is our winner tonight.
I'm looking at him in the chat room right there. KK8J, George, you just won.
Yay!
Congratulations, George. Man.
All right. Thank you, George. We'll get, if your information's good on QRZ, we'll get that put together and sent out to you. And I'll also double check here on the special discount code for anybody who's watching the show who might like to get their own call sign plaque, or there's some really good gifty ideas in there also, such as a recipe box. These are all laser cut to order. So
And non-lighted versions.
yeah, there's also if you didn't want like the full desktop, he also makes these as a wall plaque too. So. And they're building the business now with all kinds of different things that they offer. So just getting rolling. But
right.
thank you to Joe for donating these items.
You know, I got the
And
chat. I got the chat room open 2 places. One of them is going crazy, and one of them is not.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on here. That's funny.
Russ says, "Why is Dwayne bigger and Katie smaller?" Because that's how it is. Because he's like 6
Because
feet
I-
tall and I'm 5'5".
Because I am bigger.
Yeah. He's my big old Marine.
All right. Well, he looks smaller now since he cut some of the hair off.
Oh no,
I
he's
did
got a
not cut
ponytail.
the
No,
hair
he's got
off.
a nice
Oh, you got it
ponytail.
back
Look
here.
at that.
Hey, you and Rich are oh man, y'all are taking after each other.
You know, what is this stuff you call hair?
I know. You're just jealous.
Yeah.
Look at Alan.
Okay, so if you would like to get something from Alan Laser Creations, there is a code to get a 15% off something. So if you just use WY7SS-15, that will get you something off, and there's no expiration date.
Okay.
What's that? So,
Go
oh, wait a
for the
minute. I'm
discount.
sorry. Actually, I have a better deal for you guys here on the Amateur Radio
Just tell
Roundtable.
them you know Katie, and it'll be free.
Yeah, it's actually
it won't be free.
No, but actually, I have a different call sign. Sorry about that. If you use my call sign WY7YL-20, you get 20% off. That's for the Amateur Radio Roundtable fans.
All right,
So-
20% off. That's good. That's a good deal.
Good.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, hey, Alan, we're 2 minutes past our new show's next segment, but you want to talk a few minutes about?
Well, we could bring it up during, when we bring everybody in on the new Zoom
Yeah,
link.
let's do
'cause
that.
I'd
Let's go
probably
ahead
rather
and
have it be a
let's go ahead and
discussion.
bring the
rather
Zoom
than
in, and we'll
presentation.
talk about that, and then maybe some of the people might ask questions about it.
Sure, yeah.
So let's do this. Okay, guys, again, if you want to join us on Zoom, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com right now, because we're gonna make sure you get that link, and we're all gonna change. So, Alan, Glenn, Dave, and who am I missing? Katie. You're going to have to reconnect if you want to join the next part of the show. You're going to have to reconnect with that second
Okay.
that
All
Zoom.
right, I'll
Okay.
pop out of here. See you back in a few minutes.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute, guys. So everybody don't go away. We'll be right back here. All right. Let's see what I can do here. This is the first time we've done this.
Thanks, Dave. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. A lot of fun.
And Dave, join us if you can or if you want to.
Yep,
the other
yep.
Zoom?
Just
Okay.
getting ready to pop over.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop in for a few minutes. 'Cause that kind of.
All right, we should be up on the other Zoom now. If you want to join us, send a note, tom@w5kub, and we will send you the link. And we've got Alan with us already. Hey, Alan, see if you can approve the next person. I think you've got admin or monitor privileges. See if you can admit them to the room.
Yeah, I'll see if I see anybody else
Do you
coming in.
see-
I'll let you know.
Can you? Do you see anybody there? 2 people.
I
are
don't.
entering. Do you see
I
them?
don't. I just see our current participants. I don't see anybody waiting.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, I'll do that. Well, we're gonna have a bunch in here. Let's see.
You might be able to pass along privileges to me now.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let me check and see. Let's see. I'm not sure how to even do it now.
If you right-click on my name, I think you might be able to do that.
Man, we got so many people coming in here. Let's see. See, I have to click more maybe. What's more? Okay, more. More is. No. All right. So let me just start adding people. It looks like that's not going to work for you. Let's see.
So we got David, we got Jim in here.
Yeah.
Here comes Bill and Glenn.
Which bill was that? Oh man, what a.
Well, I think we got a couple bills. We got a Bill Meyer. We got
Press
WZ1L bill.
Hey, I just muted myself. We got so many people coming in. I was clicking so fast that I muted myself. Let's see. There's Freddie. I'll get Freddie in here.
Hi, Bill.
There's Tim. Tim's in here.
There's Freddie.
Let's see. We got.
Hola, Freddy. ¿Y qué pasa,
Freddy.
amigo? Eh?
Hey, who is that? Who is that speaking Espanol? Who is that? I can't
That's
see you
Bill.
covered up. Hang on. I don't know if I'm getting everybody in or not. Let's see.
Hola.
Is everybody?
Hola, Freddy.
Let's see. I think we got everybody in here.
Yeah, ¿Qué tal, dude?
I think. I don't know if we got everybody in here. Oh, who's that?
Bien.
Who is that? Somebody ding.
Hola.
Waiting room.
Estoy,
That's Bill.
estoy bien, gracias.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a better way to get you guys some type of moderator deal where you can help me approve these guys. There's too many came in here at one time. Okay. All right. All right. All right. There's Freddie. Hey, Freddie. I see the stars behind you. Are you outside? Freddie, can you hear me, Freddie?
Yes.
I see stars behind you. Are you outside on a clear night?
It's raining outside, Tom.
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay, well, let's see if any more come in. And in the meantime, I'm going to see something here, participants. I'm going to try something here. Just real quick, we're learning, guys. This is the first time we really did it at this level here. Let me see. There's Alan. Right click doesn't do anything.
Okay.
A left click doesn't do anything. All right.
How many people did you expect to be in here this evening?
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I'd love to have 50 or more. I don't think there's that many, but
437.
Oh, you should see our remote test sessions. We got 3 pages of this.
yeah. Well, I think he was asking about Zoom. I mean, was the chat room had 137 or video 137? Katie, is that what?
No,
you said?
I was just being sarcastic, saying we
okay,
had 437
okay.
people we
Hey,
allowed
Tom?
to come in tonight.
Why don't you just go ahead and dump the Zoom info in the chat for this?
Oh,
Because then you
God.
have to monitor it.
They're
Well-
asking for it.
Get the non-hams in here.
Okay. Well. All right. One reason I did that was to try to keep a little control. That way, we'd at least have an email address from people.
You
that-
let me and Katie and Dwayne in. What's this thing about control?
That is a good point.
All right. So let me ask you a question.
No.
How do I get
answer's no.
the link over to a different computer with the in a chat room?
Do you want the link in chat?
If you want, yeah. Well, you can, why don't you just copy it, Bill, and put it in there? That's fine. And that way we'll try this. And if we have some bad actors out there, we'll just kick them and
Kick them off.
then maybe we'll never let them back in. So
Yeah. I think we may I just wanted to pop in to say hi to everybody and bye, but I'm actually running on my computer and it's pretty low on its battery here, and I'm not even sure what my power supply is after traveling last week. So I think I'll just sign out. We'll probably just watch from upstairs, but
okay.
good to see everybody.
Yeah. Quick question for Alan.
Oh.
Yeah,
Alan, have you read any of Craig Allison's books?
I have not.
Oh, add 'em to your
You
list.
need to write that down. And
Okay.
The Expeditionary Forces is an excellent sci-fi series.
Okay. Craig Allison, you said?
Allinson.
ALANSON.
Okay.
I'm reading book 12 of the series right now.
It came out today on Audible. We had it. We were
Okay.
downloading it at like 6:05 this morning.
Okay. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, they're really good. We were talking it kind of in between, guys, of Alan read one of Andy Weir's his newest book on vacation last week, and I said, "Oh, I just started reading that," and Dwayne's been reading it, and Hail Mary. What's the rest of it?
Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. Really, really good. So if you
Yes.
like The Martian, you like Andy Weir, so check him out. And then our other favorite sci-fi author is Craig Allenson.
Did you guys read the Artemis? Or
I
Artemis?
did, and I was not happy with that one.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So I didn't read it. I just heard some folks didn't really like it, but I guess he kind of came back to the space and science theme with.
Well, the Artemis project takes place on the moon, but it's still, he didn't have near the science in the background that he has in these, The
Okay.
Martian and Hail Mary. So it was just wasn't as good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I won't waste my reading time with that. Not that I don't
Right.
have much of it. So
But you got to grab it while you can,
yeah. Usually it's vacation. I'll try to knock 2 or 3 books out, and then otherwise, if I'm not on a plane, I don't get to read books.
Yeah, but how much windshield time do you put in?
Well, hopefully starting in a couple of weeks, I'll get back on the road again. I'll be able to let's do some audiobook listening.
Yeah, that's the way I do it, because I do it at the shop. When I'm working on other things, I listen to the books.
Yeah. Because I normally do 30 to 40,000 miles a year in the car for work, but
Not last year.
I put 1,000 miles on my car this year, if that, this past year.
Wow.
Okay, guys, the battery's blinking at us, so
Alrighty.
sign 3.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
See ya.
Take care.
Alrighty.
So, Glenn, where's Rodan? Is she hiding there behind you?
No, right here.
Come here, you rascal.
Took a claw on the desk.
Oh, God. Holy God.
There you go.
There
There's
you
the
go.
monster.
Hey, Rodan. Nice kitty. Nice kitty.
Okay,
I
so
don't think you
Bill,
want to get
Bill,
those claws in you there, Glenn.
so
I need to get Godzilla in here.
Yeah, we'll leave Godzilla in his bed out there. Or her bed out there.
Let's go see if Tokyo can be destroyed.
Oh, okay.
All right. Looks like we're getting some more people in here too. Good.
Yeah, if you, I posted it in
Yeah,
the link. I hope
yeah,
people are coming in. Yeah,
I was
there
not,
they are.
I thought you needed a link here. I thought that number was just maybe for audio, but it appears it's work. Do you just type that number in
The number and the password. Once you open up the Zoom app, you can just type in a meeting number and a password
Okay.
and jump in with that.
Okay.
That's the way I came in.
Yeah. Yeah, the link has it all embedded, but if you don't have the link, just open up the Zoom app and put that what is it, 12-digit password or whatever it is.
All right. Well, I see a few people out there. But there's I see old Mark Pupo, my buddy up there, and
There's Mark P.
Hey, Mark, he's up there near Dayton, I guess around Xenia or somewhere.
Yeah, we met up with him.
He told me, he said, boy, that I think a couple weekends, a hamvention weekend, he said the weather was perfect out there, man. It was just perfect.
Uh-oh, is this Miss Godzilla? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's Godzilla. She don't,
This is Godzilla.
she don't want to be in there.
All right, I need to see
That's
if I can-
22 pounds of pure muscle.
Hmm.
That's right. I got a 55-pound lap dog, so.
Oh,
Yeah, but do you understand, Alan? These cats, okay?
Yeah.
Glenn goes to bed, and one lays on its chest, and the other one lays on its feet.
You ain't getting up.
no, I'm not getting up. When I had heart surgery 2 years ago, Godzilla wanted to be here. I had to come up with a box that protected my chest and should sleep on top of the box.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're getting a few extras
Right.
in here, yeah. Oh, well, this is good. So Alan, you were going to talk a little tonight about how to get an antenna up in a tree, I think.
Yeah, well, I just got back. Like I said, I just got back from vacation. If they were on last week, you saw I was at a rented beach house down on the Jersey Shore. And when I go portable operating, it's usually just a couple of times a year. It's usually when we go and go away on vacation, if we rent a beach house or something like that, I'll bring some radios. And then, field day, I'll do a little solo operation and operate out in the field, or every once in a while I get a chance to go out into the woods and do something. And usually the biggest challenge is what to do for a good, effective antenna. And then also how to get that antenna in the air. And so I've kind of come up with just 2 or 3 things that I use. And I'd like to be interested to hear what other folks have done. So my main antenna that I use when I operate portable is a shortened end-fed half-wave tri-bander. Used to be made by Par Electronics. It's now sold by Vibraplex. But it's only about 40, 45 feet long, very lightweight. And being an end-fed, it doesn't need much of a counterpoise. And depending on where I am, this past week we were at a house that was on the bay off of one of the islands off the coast of New Jersey, and the house was literally on the bay. And I tied one end of the antenna off on the railing of the second floor deck, or patio or deck, and then ran it down to a rope that was on I'm familiar with a term called a mooring whip. These are the big fiberglass poles that are off the edge of a dock, typically on a lake or a bay or something, that are used to kind of pull a boat away from the dock. So you have some spring lines to hold the boat in, and then these kind of spring rods called mooring whips to pull the other way. But it's a nice springy type of fiberglass pole, and that put a nice tension on the antenna, and that worked well. So that was the first time at this house. So it was the first time I used that system, but it worked really well. The other thing I'll do sometimes is I'll bring some of those fiberglass, 4-foot fiberglass poles you see at all the Hamfest that just telescope together. I've got 5 or 6 of them that I'll bring and create a portable mast that I'll clamp onto something and have one end of the antenna up on that. So that's another way of getting one end of the end-fed wire up in the air. And then the other thing I'll do is if I want to put it up in a tree, if I'm going out to the woods, I don't have a slingshot. As you may or not know, that slingshots are actually illegal in the state of New Jersey. You get caught with one, you can get fined to have it. So I don't have a slingshot, but what I do use is an old arborist tool. You can see this is just called throw line, and it's a very slick line. I just have it wrapped in like a V8 pattern on a set of little rods here. So it's very easy to deploy and pull off. And you get it's like a canvas bag filled with like lead shot or something like that. This happens to be a 16-inch bag. And you tie this off to the end of the line, and watch a couple of videos on YouTube for how to kind of swing this thing appropriately to get it up in the air. And you practice with it, you can get a good 40, 50 feet up in the air and find a good notch in a tree. And this bag is heavy enough that even if the tree's wet or whatever, this will find its way back down to the ground. And then you could either, tie your antenna off to that end, or just put another loop in the line and pull some more line through to kind of put it up in the tree for the couple of days or hours or whatever you're going to be operating. So those are the things that I've used here. And I've also have one of those little portable. You might have seen it's called a super antenna, an MP1 super antenna. It looks like a screwdriver style antenna, but just got a coil that you can adjust manually with a whip on the top. And I've used that in areas where I can put that kind of close to the ground or lay some radials out. I've also used that clamped to the bed of my pickup truck and used the pickup truck as the counterpoise. And that works pretty well as long as you don't have a lot of wind or something like that, because I put a 12-foot whip on the top of the thing. So those are the antennas that I've used portable with pretty good success. And I kind of like the end-fed wire. It works remarkably well. So at least for what I've operated. So again, I'd be curious to hear what other folks have used. I see in the chat room, David mentioned that he's got an arborist bag with the lead and the rope. That's basically what this is, except I don't have the bag. I just made this little rig to kind of wind it all up. And when I go to use it, I just pull it out and lay it on the ground, so that it doesn't tangle when I throw it. But I don't, the arborists actually have typically a little bag that can open up like a canvas bag, and the rope is kind of laid in there in such a way that it pays out cleanly without tangling. So, but it all works pretty well. And like I said, if anybody else has operated, portable, I'd be interested to hear what you guys use.
Well, I've got a lot of experience to put antennas up in the trees here around the house, because I have so many so many trees here, and
Yeah.
they're great for putting up antennas. 120 feet tall, nice big trees. They're not so nice when they fall on the house, but
No.
anyway, well, we're about to get all that fixed. But
All right.
I've watched the tree guys with that weight, and like just like you showed, they are really good with that. They can move that thing back and forth and put it over a limb way up there.
Yeah.
But I never really been able to do that, or I guess I just don't have one. I hadn't tried it. So I use a slingshot most of the time, and it's very accurate. A Walmart slingshot with a surgical tubing on it. Put a weight in there and have your fishing reel hooked to it, and you can pretty much kind of. I think my mouse is dirty. I'm trying to approve this person here. With the slingshot, you can pretty much hit an area, 4 or 5 inch diameter up there. It's really easy to do. And I don't know why I can't approve these people. I got 2 people there want to be approved, and I can't view them. We'll figure that out in a minute.
Bill wanted to say something there too.
So I use a slingshot. It's really good. You shoot that very, very light fishing line, and it's easy to do 100 feet with one of those.
When I've done that, a couple of times I've broken the line and the weight just goes sailing off. And
Yeah. Well, that can happen. Of course, I'll build a pneumatic air cannon where I'll put maybe 60 pounds of air in it, and I got a little projectile that goes down the barrel.
Yeah,
And you
I've
can
got a
aim
friend that
it,
built one of
and
those
you
kind
can aim
of
it,
potato
and
cannon type things.
Yeah, it goes pretty high. It'll do 150 feet easy.
Yeah.
I tried one time, and I have a friend that's somewhere still in the area. My buddy Sam, K9VVT. He came over to my house many years ago and brought a crossbow over, and we were going to put a string over a tree with a crossbow. But I think that crossbow, the arrow went about 4 miles. We never saw it after. We never saw it after he shot it. The line didn't go very far, but the arrow was probably in a cow in a pasture behind my house, probably a couple miles back. I don't know, man. So I don't suggest using a crossbow.
Yeah. I've used this throwback. I used it for here to put my antenna up here at home as well, because like I said, I'm in suburbia. I'm in a small 1/4 acre lot, and I got my neighbors' houses all around. So even doing the fishing line with a weight, and a slingshot here is a little dangerous, because if it does let loose, it's going to go through somebody's window, because the houses are all, I got houses behind me, houses on the side of me. This thing, at least, you can kind of control where it's going to go, because you can see it and grab it and that type of thing. So
yeah. Well, that's a good way to get that antenna up there. Many years ago, I had a beam up, I had a tower up, and I had a bunch of beams up. I had all kinds of antennas. Birds could not fly through my yard because of all the guy wires and the TV antennas and the rotors and the dishes and the tri-banders and the ringos and the 2-meter antennas and the 440. They couldn't fly through my yard. But in the wintertime, I always felt like a tower was going to come down. I could hear when the wind's blowing, you hear that clang, 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 clang. Something's going on up there, Anyway, I got rid of my tower. I finally gave it away. Gave my tower away. And I've got all wire antennas. And I've been very happy with wire antennas. I do a lot of building and experimenting with wire antennas. And they're just a lot of fun. And if you don't have that tower or beam to compare it with your wire antenna, you really don't know the difference there. So you can be a ham without a tower and without a beam.
Yeah, I've never had a tower. I've never had a beam.
Yeah.
So to some extent, I don't know what I'm missing. To me, the dipoles that I typically run, the end feds that I run, work really well, but I don't have anything to compare them against. So that's probably a good thing.
Right. Yeah, we're getting quite a few people in here now. Not sure how many we got there, but hey, anybody else out there with your experience, putting antennas up, portable operation, jump in here, yell at us.
Go ahead, Bill.
I have this MFJ, what is it? A 1982 MP. It's a half wave 82, 10 meters, 300 watts. It's an end-fed. I have 4 of them, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I have a regular Alpha Delta 8210. I have one of those, and I have a smaller version of that does 40, 20, 15, and 10, I think. I have trees out here, okay, and I just run them through the branch, the V's there, and
Yep.
you know, to various areas. I mean, I have an L, I have an X.
The secret is, Bill, just get some wire in the air. I wouldn't worry about the shape. Just get the wire in the air.
I've been thinking about that, going over to Walmart and buying one of those tanks there with helium and put 4 or 5 balloons on it and just let it go up, you know?
Now that MFJ with the 300 watt end fed, how big is the matchbox physically? I couldn't really tell from when you were holding it up there.
Well,
how big is the?
Why don't you pin my screen and you can see?
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Martin Jew says you do not have to run a counterpoise on this. Okay, and so, I mean, my shack is on the 2nd floor of my house.
Yeah,
okay,
so am I.
On the back. Okay, so that's where all the trees are out back. And this lady caught me out there with a ladder. I was up there and I was trying to push it up to another branch, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm trying to check on the squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get the neighbors. Bill,
the thing is, in my neighborhood, I've got all these big trees all around the house. All my antennas in the backyard. You don't see the antennas from out front, the street. You just don't see the antennas. They're almost invisible.
Yeah,
You can see
you got
mine.
loops out there, though, Tom.
They're what?
You have loops, the loop antennas.
Oh, I've got delta loops. I've got 172-foot extended double zip. I've got verticals. I've got fan dipole inverted V's. But you just don't see those antennas from the street. Now, if I look out my back window, I can see the feed lines coming down. But they just blend into the trees very well.
Wow. Yeah. The only time people see my antennas is if it snows, and the snows.
Yeah.
The snow. Lady says, Why is that over there?" I says, "Gee, I don't know."
Yeah. Why is that straight line across? How's that tree line so straight there? We don't have that problem down here. Well, maybe a little ice
y'all
sometimes.
don't have that problem.
Maybe a little
That's
ice.
funny. Before my wife and I got married and we were dating, she lived in a condo, on a 2nd floor condo, and her back deck opened up to a couple of trees. So I brought over this same end-fed wire antenna, and I'd just thrown the wire out into a tree, kind of across, probably went 30 feet across the yard, a good 30 feet up off the ground into a tree. And I was using it for about a month or so, and then she got a notice from the condo association asking her to remove the string that is going from her
String?
the string from her railing to the tree. So I had to pull the antenna down, but I got away with it for a month until they noticed it.
Oh yeah.
I've got so much metal in the air here, it's scary. I've got a 6-meter beam. I've got the tri-band beam. I've got the dual satellite quads, and the MFJ cobweb, and a 2040 dipole.
Yeah, you got a lot in there.
Yep.
Oh, you have that all in your backyard there?
Yeah,
Oh my God!
Wow.
and I've got a small backyard.
I guess so.
Yeah, I got the classic 1930s, all bend doublet, 130-foot, fed with ladder line right down here into the shack, and it's fallen 3 times with the winter weather we've had here. So currently it's going from over my garage in the backyard, actually tied off of my neighbor's tree. It comes up towards the house and then has a support that runs from there a support line that runs actually into my attic, and then from there goes off at another angle into a pine tree, then turns a corner and comes down between my house and my neighbor's house, tied off to another tree. So it's kind of like a zigzag thing.
Yep.
But that's all the supports I have here. I just don't have the trees here in suburbia. So
And I bet you made contacts on it and it works fine.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I said it works. So and as I said, Martin's right on the end fed. You don't generally need a counterpoise for the end feds because it is a high impedance feed point, right? And with the high impedance feed point, the counterpoise would be high impedance also, which means it would be pretty short, right? And for the most part, oftentimes the shield of the coax becomes the counterpoise. And the only thing you may need sometimes, depending on how much power you run, is a common mode choke, to kind of keep RF from coming all the way back into the shack. But otherwise, I've had really good luck with end feds. I like them.
Yeah. Well, let's see who else we got out here in the room. Let me take a look and see who I recognize out there.
Well, so everybody's a new face to me, so it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Let's see. This call caught my eye earlier. WB5B. Hello.
Yep, I'm here.
Hello. Where are you?
Deep South Texas, which is 5 miles from the Mexican border,
Oh wow.
and about 20 miles from the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay. Well, cool. I guess our signal's coming in pretty strong down here tonight, right?
Oh, yes, it's sliding right down here.
On Zoom. Okay, well, very good, man. Hey, we're glad to have you there, man. I didn't recognize the call there, and I don't know how long you've been following the show here, but welcome, and glad to have you.
Oh, yeah, I've been listening for quite a while.
Okay, let's see who else. I see.
Wait, hey, WB5B.
Yes.
You were a 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was a W1, original issue W1 in the 60s.
Whereabouts were you at that time?
New Hampshire, Manchester.
Yeah, okay, all right. I thought I recognized the call. That's why I was, I heard Nisi asking you if you were around. So, all right, thank you.
Hey, I see I think, is this right? Is there an Ooper in there? Ooper? Ooper? Come on, help me here. Ooper?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ooper? What are you?
Wait a minute.
Bueller?
What are
Hey,
you?
A Youper.
Youper. We got a
Yes.
Youper. We got a
well, there
Youper.
he is. I didn't see Mike.
We got the
Yeah.
Youper in here, and Mike is a prize winner, man. He's won some prizes here on the show.
Except I am not in Michigan in the Upper Peninsula right now. I'm actually in North Dakota in Grand Forks right now.
Oh man. Well, probably just as cold there, isn't it? You get a lot of snow over there?
Well, not today.
Not today. Okay. Well, I see my buddy there. Let's see who else. Wait a minute. I see Tim there. Hey Tim, how you doing here? WB8HRO Ham Radio Outlet. He's had that call for many years. Hello Tim, how are you doing up there?
Oh, I'm doing really good. And I wanted to comment that I'm running 130-foot line wire that was made by my antenna. And I got 130 foot of coax for counterpoint, which I had the maintenance department put on the roof. And it helps a lot, because believe it or not, that counterpoint does radiate.
Well, I tell you, you're really lucky up there. Tim is in a assisted home up there, and he somehow has bribed all the maintenance people up there, and he's got a ham station in his room, and they actually put in some antennas outside, man. I don't know how you pulled that off, Tim. I guess they like you, right?
Oh, they must. And I raised this newsletter And I tease the maintenance department more than anybody. And they're a good group, and they really, really help me a lot. And the nursing home had to get permits for my long wear from the township and from the fire department. And they really went.
Well, all right. Well, I know that I know you're active on ham radio up there, and hey, Tim checks in our 40-meter net. I hear him usually most Tuesdays there, and don't try escaping up there, Tim. I read somewhere on the internet, and I saw this. It's not true, but a couple escaped from a home by lit by Morse code. The people on the keypad, they escaped. Now I don't think you have that problem, but don't try to escape up there. But and again, that was a false story because those keypads don't send Morse code. But the people that wrote the story didn't know the difference there, I guess. Freddie, how you doing, Freddie? Freddie Diaz.
I'm doing well, Tom. Thank you. A lot of work, and I get so tired that I don't have any time to do anything else but to go to bed and then wake up and
man,
go to the office.
I hate to hear that because I count on Freddie to do a lot for me. And Freddie has been going to Dayton with us a number of years and has assisted in the build-up of everything and also the networking and computer systems. And Freddie's call is YV5QF. YV5QF. And Freddie, I don't know if we need to get that changed. Freddie's a U.S. citizen now, and I don't know if you can operate. You know, there's a reciprocal agreement, I think. I don't know if you can operate in the U.S. with YV5QF or if you've got to get a U.S. license. I just don't know how that works, Freddie.
Yeah, well, we will see. Let's see.
We need to get you licensed, Freddie.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, I see Richard in the chat room mentioned he's got an end fed in the backyard as an inverted L. And nobody sees the wire, but they do see the 12-meter mast that holds the vertical leg.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can see that. But yeah, like I said, I don't have a place where I can put even something like that up. With my backyard is maybe 50 feet by 50 feet. So it's I'm lucky that my neighbor next door doesn't mind me putting one end of the antenna in the tree that kind of hangs over my garage that's in the backyard. So, but
well, you know, my lot is only about, I've got an acre. My lot's about 150 feet wide, but my extended double ZEP is 172 feet long. So I've got this great big tree in my yard, and this limb must be 24 inches in diameter, but it goes over my neighbor's yard. So I shot me a line over it out there and pulled it back over to my tree. So I kind of go over to my neighbor's yard and I let it hang a little bit. You know, it hangs about 10 feet on the end there. But you know, it works okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem I had the last time that my antenna came down, it was because the squirrels had cut through the rope that I had was anchoring it in the tree over the garage. Yeah. So the antenna came down, but it was only hanging over the backyard. So I went to pull it down so I could rehang it, and the end insulator that connects the support rope to the wire is a double piece of plexiglass that I made 20 years ago. But it's big enough that it gets itself wrapped around and caught on a branch, and I can't get it down. It's stuck. I pulled on it real hard. I didn't want to break the wire. So now it's basically being self-supported by the branch up there now, but it made the whole feed point come closer to the house. So that's why it's kind of hanging in this weird configuration. But until the branch breaks and it comes down, that's just the way it's going to be for a while.
Well, I use that special antenna hanging rope. I don't know what it's called, but you know what? I have some. It's been, once I pull it up, pull my antenna up, I've got maybe 100 feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I've left it on the ground out there in the rain and the grass. And, this stuff doesn't rot. It's as strong today as it was 5 years ago. Now, the problem I do run into is I don't go out there and move the rope enough, and it will eventually grow into the tree. And when it happens, it doesn't want to move,
Yep. Yeah, I've got the one end of the antenna, the wire that's going through the pine tree next to the house over here, that kind of goes in and turns a corner, and I can still pull it because it's the insulated wire, but I'd never be able to get it out again. So once something breaks, I'm just gonna have to cut wherever I can reach and hang something new. So
Yeah. Hey, we got a person in the room here, Mark Duffy. And Mark says, hello, he's a beginner radio guy. He purchased an SDR receiver with an indoor dipole. Now looking into an outdoor antenna purchase and placement. Can anyone recommend a good small general purpose antenna? Well, I would say it's based on what frequencies really you want to use the SDR. I don't know if you're looking for VHF stuff, aircraft, police, that kind of stuff, or are you wanting to listen to shortwave, and are you wanting to listen to hams down in the HF bands? I wouldn't go out and buy an antenna. I mean, hams are pretty cheap, and hams like to build a lot of their own stuff. So an antenna for the SDR could be as simple as just a straight piece of wire. Get you a piece of wire that's 20 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet long, stretch it out your window, and bring it in and just plug it into that antenna connector, and you will receive really decent HF signals there. Now, if you want to do VHF, that's a little bit different story. We can talk a little about that, but
even something like a scanner.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. So, Mark, what are you wanting to? What frequency ranges are you looking at? HF? Or are you looking at VHF, UHF? The SDRs go really, really broadbanded.
Yeah. Put it in the chat there what you're looking for, and like I said, wire in the air, like we've been talking about, even if it's ugly, it works.
Yeah.
Works a whole lot better.
And you know what?
You
can use such small wire that you won't see it. And don't worry about it stretching. I've never worried about wire stretching in all my life. I get on some of these new ham groups, and you got to use the steel clad wire or it'll stretch. Well, and most of the guys are doing it. They're buying themselves a tuner. And if you're going to put a tuner on it, who cares if it stretches a couple inches, right? You're going to use the tuner anyway.
Yeah, my 130-foot dipole is not resonant anywhere.
I've never worried about wire stretching. But man, you can use some really, really small wire that's really pretty much invisible, man. Stretch that stuff out. And hey, even if you
use black wire.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to stretch it out to a tree, put it on the eave of the house and just staple it down, 30 or 40 feet down the end of the house. Just get you about 30 or 40 feet of wire on there, and you'll receive.
Yeah, the receiver I've got down in my home office is just a short wire that runs out, and I've got a sheet metal screw into the gutter on the side of the house. So the gutter is my antenna. So
yeah, a lot of people use gutters, and if you have a gutter-free antenna, go out there and tap on that gutter and just run the wire inside and hook it to your antenna connector, and you will pick up signals. I promise. We're getting close to the end of our show here. What was that, Mike?
Mike?
Yeah, my whole yard is nothing but dipole antennas. I've done away with the big tri-bander and everything. I've gotten too old to climb up there now, but
yeah,
I got a 35-foot wooden pole, which I got pulleys on, in which I have a 75-meter double bazooka coming down, a 40 double bazooka coming down, a 6-meter double bazooka. I do have a homemade 160, these are all in V formations, inverted V, and then I've got a cobweb mount or 10 through 20 on, and the
Mike, for your inverted Vs, how tight is the angle? What's the included angle on them? Are they relatively flat, or are they kind of really steep?
Probably in 45 degree.
Okay.
I wish I don't have the trees, but not in a line where I can put them horizontal. I'd love to, but all my ends come down to holes I got in the ground, which are probably 8 feet out of the ground, tied off, so I can cut the lawn and walk under the wires. But
okay.
I wish I could get the ends up horizontal, but the lot's not big enough. So inverted V's.
You got more omnidirectional coverage that way too, so that's good.
And I cheated. I did the purchase way. I've made many antennas. Everything I've got in my yard, I'll put a plug in, for radio because every one of my double bazookas I purchased and my hobweb is the Scout from Radio Wave, and
Okay.
and it gets me on just as fine as when I used to have the Tribander up.
Sure.
I've got a 40-meter double bazooka right here.
Oh, look at that.
I'm thinking about putting that up somehow. I've got 40-meter antennas, but I'm thinking about maybe putting this as a sloper and maybe aiming it where I have, more signal in a certain direction. So,
How long is that, Tom?
what was that?
How long is that antenna?
This the 40-meter double bazooka requires 65 foot 5 inches.
Okay.
And the one nice thing about the double bazookas, they're broad banded, so with a tuner, my 75, I go all the way down to 36, 73 to 39, 90, 85.
Yeah, our friend Emmett sent this to me.
That's what I've got up, that exact 40-meter double bazooka.
I saw WV5B was holding up a sign there near SpaceX. I mean, was that where you're located there?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that when we were talking there. It's about a 30-mile ride for me to go right to the door of where SpaceX is. And that particular road that they're on goes out to the Gulf, and the beaches there for 5 or 6 miles either way are completely deserted except for fishermen. Quite a thing to see.
Is that where they've been doing? What's the name of that Starship? Where they've been landing, taking off and then kind of belly flopping it down and landing it vertically. Is that where that's happening?
That's right. And also out in the Gulf, he purchased 2 oil rigs. The platforms.
Yeah.
And they're going to use those as the launches for their Mars trips. And he's claiming now that within a year he'll be able to transport you from China to New York City in less than 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Well, that would be interesting, but I don't think I would do that.
Hey guys, just real quick. Let me make a quick announcement here. Everybody, don't go away. We'll just continue our gathering here. Hey, thanks for everybody for listening tonight on International Shortwave on WBCQ out of Monticello, Maine on 7490. Glad to have you on Shortwave, and shoot us an email to tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where you are. And this show has been about ham radio. We're talking about all aspects of ham radio, and please join us. If you have internet, you can go to youtube.com/W5KUB. Thank you, and good night to everybody out there on the radio. All right.
Hey Tom, I like this format, having some kind of a program up front where we bring on guests and things like that, and then opening up for a group. I think this is going to work well doing this.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that it looks interesting, and we can. I think
we asked them to bring back Hangouts. And this is an equivalent of Hangouts where any subject is available, sure. And like right now, I have been doing remote testing since last April, I guess it was, and I have participated in 116 sessions where we've had anywhere between 10 and 146 candidates at a test session. At
a time? Oh my God.
We do it remotely with Zoom and a backside program of hamstudy.org. Okay, and I've got numerous trinkets. I have a mug. I have a hat. And I got this for my 100th session. It's a mouse pad.
Nice.
So, and I didn't ask for it. I mean, they sent it to me, so I said, well, hey, I mean, they're thankful that I'm participating, and remote test sessions are still going on, and hopefully when things start opening up, we'll be back to in person.
Yeah.
We used to have some real good conversations back with the hangout when Doc was in there and what you over on the East Coast.
We would get a little wild when Doc and everybody's in there. We would drill him on. We're all getting so old. We would drill him on medical questions. That probably. We don't need to be talking about colonoscopies and stuff here on our show, I guess. Although that was a lot of fun, actually.
Hey, Tom, I'm going to have to run. 5 o'clock comes pretty early.
All right, Glenn.
Good night, Glenn.
Good night, Glenn.
Right,
We'll see you
Take
later.
care, Glenn.
Good night.
There's a couple people saying they're trying to get in on Zoom, but I don't see any. I can't tell that anybody is waiting. Let me look. Participants. I don't.
Oh,
see,
hey, Andy, I didn't see you hiding down there.
I don't see anybody waiting. So we'll just okay. So the show basically is over. But the gathering can continue.
Well, I'm almost done here.
It can continue, and as Bill was mentioning, years ago after the show, we used to have hangout where people would come into the show and we'd all just have a little group chat like this. But so I thought we'd try it again with Zoom and see how it works. I could open the phone lines in addition to, and I should have done that. I didn't think to do it, but again, we can take 1,000 simultaneous phone calls. I haven't got more than about 3 at the most.
I think this is good. I mean, it might be fun to run the tech tips like this. If people have questions and things like that. Tech tips thing this
Or
way.
even after TekTips, I mean, people here that watch the show can ask questions and talk about those things.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of.
I think I'm going to take off too. I got another full day of work tomorrow. It's after 11 here, so.
And you're on the East Coast, so it's getting late there. So good night, Alan. Thanks.
Good night, Alan.
Good night. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Now, Tom, that was me trying to get in earlier on the Zoom. I didn't know you guys were on Zoom yet, so here I am.
Well, hey, that was Andy, right?
Andy.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Andy. I keep seeing some people saying they're in the waiting room or something, but I when I go over here and look, I don't see them. So
yeah, that was me probably. I was saying, well, I'm waiting for the host to join me, or to let me join and stuff. But that was about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you
Puerto
located?
Rico.
Where are you
Came
located?
back from Puerto Rico, and I'm here now.
Where are you?
I said I'm in Florida right now, but I was over in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, down in Puerto Rico.
Well, I'm going to call it a night too, guys. I'm
Night, Mike.
normally
later, buddy.
normally I'm home in Michigan and Marquette in the UP, but right now I'm in Grand Forks, North Dakota, at our daughter's house for her granddaughter's high school graduation going on. So I suppose I better get back in with the family here.
Yeah, you better. All
right,
right. Well,
so
Bill,
until next week.
I mean, Mike,
We'll
good to
see you
see you. Good to see you, Mike, and we'll see you later.
Okay, 73 guys.
All right. So hey, jump back up there to Dave here. Dave, our balloon man. Dave, I think this is your first time to join the show, man. We really enjoyed having you tonight. I hope you come back.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was it was interesting to look at Alan's way of throwing lines into the tree. That's the exact same way that we try to get balloons out of a tree.
Yeah. A couple of our Pico balloons were rescued in Poland. Let's see, by the Polish Rodeo Club. I don't think I have a picture. Yeah, I do. Here's a picture. I don't know how they got it down, but there's one of our little tractors. That's the Polish crew there. Last year, this thing was about 80 feet up in the air. I think they shot it down with a slingshot or something. I don't know how they did that. But that was kind of interesting. And we did a zero pressure balloon about a month ago and flew it overnight, and we crashed it in right out of Charleston, South Carolina. It's still up in a tree. We had a ham friend, James Lee, that was driving through that part of the country, and he said, I want to go look for it. And we had good APRS on it, and we got him within about a half a mile of it, and he saw it, and it's hanging in a tree. Over the swamp, over the alligators, over the snakes, up pretty high. So we left it there.
Yeah, it can be disappointing. My guess is, when you do yours and all that, being able to find it will be one thing, but getting it out of the trees will be something.
Most of our flights have gone down most of them have gone down in the ocean. And in fact, this is our very first flight. It made it to Japan right there. That was our very first flight.
Wow.
We went 14,000 miles in 14 days, and then we hit a storm right off the east coast of Japan. It didn't make it. And that was just a simple 36-inch Mylar party balloon. It carried that tracker 14,000 miles, man.
Wow.
So, but most of ours go down in like the desert. We had a number go down in western China. A lot of them go down in the ocean. We lost a number of them in the ocean. So
yeah, my biggest concern is winding up in Lake Erie, and I don't have a Navy to go out there and try to get it.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big lake too. Yeah, that could
but
be dangerous.
Still a lot of fun.
That could be dangerous, I guess, if you go out there in a small boat, man. That's a pretty big lake. Well, all right, let's see who else we got here. Let's see.
Has anybody tried the new Echolink CQ function?
No.
Yeah.
I have.
Lots and lots of fun. It's well put together. It's you just download the newest version of Echolink, and there's maybe 6,000 people there, but it puts you into a with the CQ function. You get put into a room where other amateurs want to talk, and I've had 2 and 3 hour QSOs to Japan and Taiwan and South Africa and all kinds of places. Really, a real good QSO. When anything over a half hour is a good QSO.
We have an Echolink node number. It's been a long time since we've used it. I had it linked to some repeaters that I had. I might need to bring it back out and see what it's like. We also have DMR now. I bought this. It's an IP radio, no antenna on it, but it does DMR, D-Star, and Fusion, all in the same little box. It looks like a radio. It's got a speaker on it, a microphone. But it hooks,
that's one of those DV Mega Casts, right?
It's a DV Mega Cast. I got that, and I made about one contact on it. This show has our own. We have our own talk group, 31693, I think. But there's no activity on it. I wish we could get some people to really just start using it, 31693 on DMR.
Yeah, I lost all this hair just trying to figure out a code plug, so I'm still working.
Oh yeah, that's something else, Andy. Trying to figure out how to run one of those.
Well, I'm halfway there. I got it talking to my hotspot, dualplex hotspot. I got it doing that, and I can hit a couple of rooms with it and stuff. But for some reason, it drops connection after about maybe 5 minutes. The connection drops, and I don't know if that's a problem with my configuration on Brandmeister or what, or the radio.
I don't know, but we're on Brandmeister 31693.
Yeah, I've got you in there.
Oh, do you? Okay. And we really ought to start trying to use that. I don't know anything about code plugs and stuff. Now we have a friend that hopefully he'll be back on some with us, Jason from Ham Radio 2.0, and he's pretty good with all that stuff with code plugs and stuff, and he can explain it and tell us and help us. We'll get him back on here and
Tom, when you get down to Huntsville, all right, you go over those people there. What's that radio store down there? I'm trying to think. There's a guru there that knows all about code plugs.
Yeah.
Because he says if you have any problems, let me know. I can't remember the guy's name or his call sign.
I don't know.
But you know which one I'm talking about there. What's the name of the radio store there?
Is it Gigaparts?
Yeah, Gigaparts.
Yeah,
That's
Gigaparts.
it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's where I bought this DV Mega from them at Gigaparts there. So we'll be seeing them big time down at Huntsville Hamfest in a few months. Can't wait for the Hamfest. Mark Brown, you still with us, Mark Brown? The chairman of the Huntsville Hamfest was in the chat room earlier. Are you still around, Mark Brown? Don't know if he's here or not. Let's look. I got the floor plan for Huntsville here.
Isn't that the 22nd and 23rd or something like that?
Yeah, it's 20-something of August. There we go. That's the layout right there. If you look on the very right side of that, you'll see the stage on the very right end against the wall, and we're going to be right next to the stage, right in front of all those chairs that are the little zero dots there. And it's a pretty nice. It's about the third largest hamfest in the country. Air conditioned, 5-star accommodations. The place is beautiful. You can just about eat off the floor in there. This place is so clean and cool.
Well, the way things are going on the outside world there, it might be the only ham fest here in the United States.
I'm thinking that maybe they might get a lot more attendance since it's one of the first ones that opens up, after all this stuff,
I bet you it will be. I bet you it's going to be a record for them.
Yeah, it might be.
Well, I'm planning on going. Hopefully there's no hurricanes that pop up between now and then or in the middle of it, because I'm with the Hurricane Watch Net also.
Okay. So were you just visiting Puerto Rico? You live in Florida?
No. I'm down here in Florida. I'm at Val and Jerry's NV9L. I'm at their place right down here in Florida.
Okay,
right now.
I thought earlier you said you were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I was over there. I went over there originally with the Force of 50. Me and Val went over there.
Yeah.
And, I was there for 2.5 years, and I go back occasionally and help out. I still putting infrastructures together with repeaters and stuff for municipalities and things like that, hospitals and Arden nets and mesh networks and things like that. I'm still helping out and volunteering with that.
Okay, well, cool, very good. Oh, let's see. Well, let's see. Our room is kind of starting to dwindle down now. Anybody want to jump in here and put us on a new subject? Tell us what you're doing.
Come on, Mark. Tell us if you get your antenna up.
Mark, I don't know about Mark, man. You get him a radio, you take him a radio.
He's one of those slackers there, Tom.
Let me tell you, you get Mark a radio, you build him an antenna, and he don't put it up for like 2 years, and then he says the tree fell or something. I don't know what's going on up there. Mark, have you made any contacts?
Unmute yourself and talk to us.
I haven't made any contacts. I've been too busy with all the other things going on around here.
Man, I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get you a contact.
I can't keep the EU off of the long wire over here. I get up in the morning and 6 meters just booming, and then all of a sudden HF starts picking up, but it's all Eastern Europe and stuff, and can't get anything local until way late afternoon, and then 20 meters starts fading away about then, and then it's 40 meters from that time on, and or 40 and 80, 75. So,
well, the bands are going to just get better and better and better. That sunspot cycle is going to start looking good again here in the next year or two. So you can already see it picking up.
Well, I got inverted L's running every which way, lazy L's, and then got a couple of dipoles up.
All right, well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut the thing down here. Maybe get
73. Have a good night. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
It was good talking to you, Tom.
I'm thinking about maybe some popcorn, find something good on TV, you know.
Tacos.
No, peanut butter sandwich.
You know, I think I really have popcorn tonight, man. It lasts longer. See, I can eat a peanut butter sandwich in about 45 seconds, but see, a big old thing of pop, you know, about a 2-gallon thing of popcorn, it lasts, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it tastes good. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bring your friends. I got everybody's name here, and everybody on here has to bring one guest with them next week.
I'll bring somebody. I'll bring a dozen.
All right. Very good. See you guys. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
73s. Yep. Good night. Thank you.
Night 73s.